Welcome back, everybody, to the Ready.ca dispatch for July 26th. It's almost the end of the summer. I'm unpacking my winter clothes here, getting ready, priming my snowblower. It's almost over, Mark. We've had a good run here of hot weather, and soon it'll be cold yet again in this barren country. What's going on in your neck of the woods? How you doing?
I'm doing good. We're going to do some family travel tomorrow, so we're getting ready to rumble. I'm just typing the title of this stream into my thing before I share it out to my Twitter feed.
Excellent.
And away we go. Yeah,
we gotta talk. We gotta talk about organ harvest. I mean, I can't even say it without just like laughing, crying. There is allegedly a debate now renewed.
There's no allegedness to it.
But I mean, what is the debate about?
So it was a paper that was published in the New England Journal of Medicine that just came out. And it was weird because when I was first trying to track down this story, they've suggested this before in 2020. This was already suggested. So I thought, oh no, it was, you know how sometimes people accidentally pick up on something that's like 6 years old and they retweet it out and it sort of catches a second wind.
Yes.
We've done that on Axis of Easy a couple of times. It's like, oh, this is a text story from 2016, our bad. But then I looked further on it and the National Post reported on it on Friday. And then it was a new paper in the New England Journal of Medicine, which came out in June. And it was, I just love this word, recontextualizing the death before donation law, because there's a law in most countries, including Canada, which is you have to be dead before you can donate your organs.
The organ donation cannot kill you is like the standard right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You have to already be dead. And then it's a matter of like, how fast can you harvest and freeze and transport the organs? And so what this paper is saying is like, well, if these people were going to be dead anyways, because they've selected MAID in Canada, fertile ground for this, they named Canada by name because of MAID, then maybe we need to recontextualize that rule. And let me go on a little bit of a tangent about the word recontextualize.
Please.
Because it's just one of those euphemistic words that, globalists and left-wing woke people use to wrap up like something vile that they're about to do to you or strip you of your rights. You know, it's like Klaus Schwab used to use that all the time in his talk. We need to recontextualize property rights, which is, you know, we're going to take away your house, put you in the boxcar, send you off someplace and give your home to like some Somali refugees because we've recontextualized your property rights. So now they want to recontextualize the death before donation rule, which means get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right? They basically want to be able to start harvesting the organs while the, I don't know what you call it, the patient, the donor, the victim is not technically dead.
Yeah. A couple things here. We are not the only ones talking about this, obviously. The Center for, what is the name of this agency here? It's the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms.
The J.
Yeah, JCCF. They have a pretty long report out that, yeah, I mean, the report itself is nothing spectacular, but it does outline a number of the concerns I think like you and I share. And I know the one thing I'm tired of from these people is the idea that they're helping me somehow by doing this, right? Like I'm already, you know, because you remember when MAID started to roll out in Canada in 2021, 2020, whatever year that was.
No, it was before then.
When it maybe I'll say when it gained steam. Is that the right way to put it? I don't know. When it started becoming a topic that the media was discussing, not just here but abroad too. You know, like when it lands on Rogan's and Tucker's radar, like that's when something really is a practical matter. Like it's become a thing that people are doing. So, you know, when that started, the only thing I used to hear was this is only going to be for like seriously terminally ill, to save them from the sort of last stages of immense suffering. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. I don't think anyone has an issue with that sort of medically assisted dying. If you want to spare yourself, the last 6 months of your ALS diagnosis where you aren't going to be able to function or breathe or understand or hear or whatever, okay, fine. Then it was expanded to, at speeds you never would have guessed. Okay. I'm joking there, by the way. It was expanded to, we need to allow this to be used by mature minors who are mentally, distraught, ill, depressed, whatever. And in the same breath now, I have to hear that they want to take out organs from people before they are dead. But of course, this will never become a factor in whether they suggest made to somebody, right? Right? I don't know.
You would almost be surprised at the cavalierness of like how often MAID gets suggested.
I don't have to be cavalier. And by the way, I don't have to speculate, because on this show, as the tagline goes, we do not talk about opinion. We talk about stuff that we know. And I did a little digging here and found an AMA on Reddit from someone named Wanda Morris. Now, do you know who Wanda Morris is?
No.
She is the leading advocate and the president or CEO of a Canadian organization. I think they're a Canadian organization called Dignity in Dying or something like that. And so this is 13 years old, this AMA. And in this AMA on Reddit, she gives a lot of honest answers that you will never get from her today about how, I don't want to call it assisted suicide. She talks about how people who are, who may find themselves in no position, like you said, to make the decision about whether or not to ask for help in dying, are making those suggestions anyway, or getting those suggestions made to them anyway. You're seeing this sort of thing over and over again now. And what you wind up getting from these organizations is always what? It is always the expansion of their responsibility, the expansion of their influence, and the expansion of whatever operation they're proposing continues to grow and become more prevalent. And in this case, her job requires the expansion of the assisted suicide program. And so if the assisted suicide program means that more and more people are able to get organs or whatever, then the push is going to be one direction, Mark. And I am shocked. Maybe I shouldn't be, but it feels like I should be shocked that more medical professionals are not coming out screaming and crying against this. Where are the rational people here?
Yeah. As is the case with almost every government initiative, the barrier comes down over time, right?
Yeah.
Like whether it's an income tax or some other sort of restriction that's only going to apply over here in these narrow circumstances, those narrow circumstances suddenly get wider and wider and wider. It's the only place where the Overton window gets wider. Do you remember there was the guy who wanted MAID because basically he was poor.
That's right. Couldn't afford to live. We talked with him.
He got it. He was going to lose his apartment and he had no place to go. And this was green lighted. It was green lit. Like it was going to happen. That didn't happen because I think someone interceded and provided him with housing. But it was like, yeah, okay, whatever. They talk about doing it for mental health reasons. They talk about doing it for,
the kids one is brutal for me. This sort of mature minor, like
the mature minor. And then there's also, I believe I saw something, you know what? I don't know if I should mention it because I can't cite the source, that it was like they were going to like for like newborns or babies that were
crazy.
Supposedly, in a medical condition that was just beyond, salvation in their minds. I don't know if
It rings a bell. It rings a bell, though.
I can't cite the source, but the point is, have you seen some of the graphs on the statistics? Like it's something like the second or third highest cause of death in Canada.
And there's a push to, I think, mask those numbers, right? These same groups, they want to make sure that that's never listed as the cause of death, but rather the
underlying.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And that's it's frustrating. Again, you're getting people at their most vulnerable, at a time when they are experiencing something completely it's foreign and may it always be foreign to everyone who's listening and watching these decisions. But you're experiencing this life altering moment, and someone has the nerve, presumably, to hand you like a pamphlet or something. What do they it's just insane to me. And Canada, not to go down this rabbit hole, but it's worth talking about because we've obviously seen like a significant decline in the quality of care, available to the average Canadian, both in terms of speed, outcome, speed, you name it. Hallway medicine now has become the norm. You can't tell me this is not part of the calculation by somebody somewhere to do this MAID thing, kill people faster, empty the beds, free the resources, save the money. I do not believe that there's anything that there's no impact coming from the bean counters on this. There's just no way.
Yeah, I mean, I always have a hard time swallowing the conspiracy pill or it's a grand plan, but when you think about it, when you have a socialized healthcare system, right? So let's forget plans and machinations and even conspiracies. You didn't say conspiracy, but let's even just, if anyone's thinking it, let's put it aside and let's just talk incentives. When you have a nationalized healthcare, universal healthcare system, okay, that carries with it a certain set of incentives. And those became a lot clearer when you had Dr. What's his name on the Canadian Bitcoiners show. Remind me his name.
Right, Dr. Brian Day.
Yeah. He said that even compared to other countries where healthcare is fully socialized, Canada has the incentives completely ass backwards. Where in England, for example, it's fully socialized healthcare, but every time a hospital checks in a patient, the cash register rings because they bill the government and the government pays them money. So they have incentives to treat patients. But in Canada, it's structured completely different, where the hospitals get their allotment at the beginning of the year. Yeah. And so every patient is a cost, not a revenue. So now the incentives are completely flipped. And incentives are everything. I just spilled water on myself. The famous Charlie Munger line, show me the incentives and I'll show you the outcomes. Well, the outcomes are, we got a country full of boomers, right? Who's the largest demographic, who will not relinquish their socialized healthcare, if they're, for any reason. And we got a system that's breaking under the weight of itself, right? And so the incentives are that every time we convince a boomer to kill themselves in the name of the greater good,
it's unbelievable that you've been saying this. It is unbelievable.
We're holding up. We're doing the Lord's work for the universal healthcare system.
Yeah. I don't disagree with any of that. I hate to say it, but like, this is the world we're living in now. To greener pastures here for second story of the week. Grain farmers and millers in Edmonton, among others, having the feds impose French language requirements on them. I cannot believe this. I can't. I don't know. Like, what does Quebec have? Does Quebec have like naked photos of every like cabinet minister at all times? How do they keep scoring these giant victories for their culture? I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it.
Yeah. People call this, they say this country is run by the Laurentian elites, but the Laurentians are basically Quebec. Like, somehow they have the country by the balls, and and they can do whatever the hell they want. That's even contrary to what any other province who tries to do the same thing just gets completely bitch slapped down. And I remember David Bradley, I had him on my show, and he's the Alberta separatist, and he said, Quebec gets paid to stay in Canada and Alberta pays to stay in Canada. And again, that's an example of incentives. And it's why Quebec will probably never separate. I think Francis was saying the same thing when he was on your show. Mm-hmm. But even beyond that, okay, so Quebec is jerking Ottawa around by the testicles, but you've got all these new bills coming out, C-22, C-8, C-9, what you can say, what you can think, what you intend, what your meaning is, right? Because the bar on things like hate speech is being pushed through the floor. So it's no longer about clearly inciting violence against an identifiable group. Now it's like, well, basically you hurt somebody's feelings in a religious or ethnic sense. So now that's hate. That's a hate speech. So you're being told what to think, what to say, how to say it. And now you're being told what language you have to speak it in if you're in one of these industries that's affected by this. This was real. This was a few years back. It may still be on the books. There's like a French language law in Montreal or Quebec City or something like that, where if you're in an off-leash dog park in this city or wherever, you must give your commands to the dog in French.
Oh, come on.
Like, this was a real thing.
I will say that, well, I'll start with this. Okay. There's a lot of concern from the federal government about the decline of French speaking in places where there's actually never been predominant French, which is very strange. I don't understand that. The other thing, like that's enough of a bother for me. Well, it's enough of an issue. Yeah, tell me.
What are the interloping languages in those places? Is it like, well, we can't have Pepsis, which is a slur for English speaking people, I think, if I remember it correctly. Can't have people speaking English, but what is it being spoken instead of French? Is it Hindi or is it?
Listen, I was going to say it. I had it highlighted there. That they seem very concerned about the decline in French. What about the decline in English? Are you ever going to make a law for that? Somehow, I doubt it. Anyone who's been to a Tim Hortons drive-through knows there's a decline. So now that we're paddling upstream here, the other thing I would say, I mean, we're close. The other thing that bothers me though is that, again, there's not really an understanding by the feds. I went to the actual the Government of Canada website where it talks about this use of French in federally regulated private businesses. That's the name of the law. It's in a 224-day consultation. And there's a lot of stuff in here. I won't put it on the screen because it's a little dry, but a lot of stuff in here about the administrative costs of this program. Mm-hmm. It's going to cost almost $1 billion to, I guess, oversee adherence to this program if they go through with it. And it talks about how much it will cost, long term, and what the benefits will be. You don't see anywhere in there though, Mark, is what it's going to cost the businesses to administer the law, administer the programming, right? What is it going to cost me as an Alberta, Edmonton, whatever? I'm a small business owner. I own a welding shop in Saskatoon. I got to put French language signage up now and make sure that I conduct my meetings with a French language, a French land acknowledgement at the beginning of every session.
Your gender neutral bathroom,
of course,
well,
stocked with tampons. And so you have to know if you're a small business owner that you're up against it here, because let's face it, you now are getting really you're taking it basically everywhere you're putting your feet down. You have a trade relationship issue with your largest trading partner. You have a government that's hostile to business growth. You have a government that's now hostile to even your independent internal operations, not even anything publicly facing in a lot of senses. What is the incentive to start businesses here? I keep on hearing from Ottawa that we're in, sort of the golden age of business formation in Canada, and things have never been better for entrepreneurs here, and we're the place that talent wants to come. I don't think what is the rationale for someone coming from like abroad who doesn't speak French? They're going to come here and see these laws in about a year's time, February or March, whenever that 224 is up. And they're going to say, yeah, Canada's the place I want to start a business. The loonie is under 70 cents against the dollar. My family can't get healthcare. Crime is on the rise in every big city. Oh, and I have to have French language, like rules, regs, and comms at my business if I move it to Saskatoon, Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver, anywhere. I have to have it. It's mind-boggling to me that anyone with two brain cells to rub together can look at this and then also look at the government saying, well, we're the best place to do business, and think these two things jive. There's rules around like how big the businesses have to be. I think it's about 100 people you have to employ.
It's 100 employees. I think there might be a revenue hurdle there too. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't see one here.
The other thing is, this is completely moot in this technological age.
Yeah.
I mean, so Easy DNS, we have no French language versions of any of our web pages. We do a fair amount of business in Quebec, and I'm sure we have customers in France. And we even speak French with some of them, because we have a few employees who are bilingual. And so if someone calls in and they're speaking French, it's like, okay, hang on, let me find you someone who speaks French. And if we can't, we'll call you back. But my point is, we're in this era now where if you land on an English web page and you're French, your browser already knows what you want to see before anything happens. And it's like, I'm going to just show you this page in French. If you walk into the Motor Vehicle Bureau in Saskatoon, French, Hindi, Swahili, German, Sanskrit, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can actually conduct your business with the clerk, because you can just say what you need into your phone and go like this.
Yep.
And they're going to and get it. I mean, people are now going around the world, navigating, being in places where they have no conception of the language at all, just using their smartphones to translate in real time. I mean, that's the world we live in. It's like we practically have babble fishes in our ears, and it's just getting better, and it's just getting faster. So there's again, it's a thought crime, right? Well, it's like, well, we don't want you to use this automatic, on the fly, real time language translation that makes all of this fucking moot. You must speak French en français, because we have this rule that says we have to uphold the French heritage of this province that's like 3,000 kilometers away.
Yeah, it's pretty mind numbing. I didn't think about the tech angle, but it is true. You can get almost any level of retail tech now has. I mean, even the thing you're describing is almost archaic now. The AirPods that you and I think both just bought,
they can do it already
on board. Yeah, live.
Live, like in your ear. So okay, so I'll just put this in. I got a pair right now. I actually just got them the other day. Like, do you want to just do the rest of the podcast and fucking greet? Let's do it, man. Jesus Christ.
It's amazing. It's amazing. The last story of the week here, the halting of an investigation into flight PS 752. This was the 2020 flight, I believe. Here it is on the screen. The RCMP quietly canceled this investigation. Quietly tells me this might have been written by AI. This investigation into the 2020 Ukrainian International Airlines flight that was shot down by Iran, resulting in the death of 138 Canadians. But it says it has no records of who ordered them to stop. Mark. No records. Okay.
I had no idea about this. I don't even think I vaguely remember this happening. At this point, we're just cribbing stories from Blacklocks, because they're the ones who broke the news. And I think Juno picked up on it. I think it's that way. But yeah, it's just I was speechless when I saw that story. It was like, we are so, what's the word I'm looking for? The word two-faced, it's on the tip of my brain, but just when if Trump, makes a joke about the governor of Canada, like it's a national crisis, right? And it actually sways an entire election, and like people just lose their fucking shit. They're keen Teslas. They're like, America, they're ripping liquor off the shelves and pouring it down the sewer and just like fuck America. And so like we're like only Canadian sentiment, Canada will go to war. The number of Canadians who will go to war against America is off the charts, and it's like we're like rah Canada, and then like someone like fucking nukes out a plane full of Canadians. Like just puts a missile at them.
Military operation. Yeah.
Just blows them out of the sky and kills them all. It's like, oh, nothing's everything's fine. Everything's fine.
There was an investigation. With us. There was an investigation in 21. I have the CBC article up here. PS 752 probe finds no evidence the aircraft's destruction was premeditated, but says Iran isn't off the hook. Those are our people. I don't know how it's not like not premeditated.
Not premeditated. The missile like launching from the rocket launcher. Like
I don't get it. Like, generally if you get hit by a SAM turret, it's someone's idea, to be pushing the button. They got to spot you in the sky. They're looking for aircraft, whatever.
There's a radar signature. It's like, oh, it's a passenger plane.
That's right.
You want me to hit that plane? Yes.
Yeah. It's done on purpose.
Open fire.
It's frustrating. Like it's a good tie-in to like why I think Ready is going to be such a hit, because you just don't know. There's no rational actors at the highest levels here. The only thing that's getting done, the only thing that makes it through the slow grinding gears of bureaucracy, it's just the dumbest ideas. The dumbest ideas are the only thing that makes it through. The dumbest reports, the dumbest ideas. And I have this theory that I was sharing with, I can't remember if I shared it with you or someone else, but when you talk to somebody and they say a number of things that are just like really stupid, they're just like stuff that you would never say, never think. The thing to remember is that there's a lot more going on inside that person's head that doesn't make it through the filter, right? And so if the thing that makes it through the filter is like crazy stupid, you can just imagine what other thing they're stirring on, right? That they didn't say, that they might actually like act on sometime down the road
or believe.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they don't like the thing they think but aren't telling you. And then you see stuff like this report and it's like, yeah, this is what we thought was a good idea to share with everyone. What is the stuff you didn't think was a good idea to share that you have, that you're sitting on, that you have access to, that you wrote, whatever? Like you can't do it.
Story, Joey. Bonus story, because I know we're going to wrap it up in a minute, but you said only the worst ideas get through. Did you see the one where we spent like a couple $1 million to do an analysis of carbon neutral armored vehicles?
No. Come on. Like what? Yeah. Where's the money coming from for that? Where this is
you and me, bro.
I know. This is where you need, like, if Rick Mercer was worth his salt, he would start an independent YouTube channel doing like, man on the street interviews at food banks. Yeah. I know you're looking for a can of Campbell's soup today, sir, but did you hear that we're investing in carbon neutral armored cars soon to make sure that if you say anything in the wrong language, there's someone there to stand you up. That we will have our Ruby Ridge moment with you, Anglophone. Do not get mad in the wrong official language online.
Yes, I know. I was looking for this story, but I can't find it. I can't. The only story I can find is that we did a no bid contract for armored vehicles, and a Brampton firm with ties to Brookfield got it.
I love it. I love it. This is a great. Listen, at the very least, okay, this Sunday night, 30 or so minutes will be therapeutic for both of us as we unwind from the week that was and get ready to get back in the trenches on Monday morning. That's it for this week. Don't forget, check out Ready.ca. If you haven't taken the test, take it. I think it's selftest.ready.ca or ready.selftest.ca, something like that for the test.
If you go to ready.ca, there's a button right there that's like, so read the other Canada, which is kind of like the manifesto. And then the self-test is right there. And then go join like the club, which is like the forums. And then follow us on X, which is Canada Shrugged on X.
Yeah. We look forward to seeing you there. Times are changing in Canada. Make sure you're agile. Make sure you're ready. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Take care.